All right, so a note about clean label before we go into the Q&A section is when you try to clean up your label on the bread production side of things, you have to follow a two-prong approach. One is the ingredient, two is the equipment, okay? The reason is because these two really works together to really clean up your label. Sometimes some enzyme or alternative solution might require, a little more fermentation, a little more cleaning up, a little more lower temperature. And, with lower temperature requires you to go into smaller batches with more mixes. Or a lower temperature requires some air conditioning unit or some more tempered water or ice chips, right? So looking at a holistic program for your bread production is really understanding your formula, what enzymatic or replacement alternatives from companies like Lesaffre you could use on the floor, and also, equipment, automation, what can you do there? So with that said, let's go into the Q&A and let's answer some questions. Miguel, are you ready?
Sure.
All right.
So, it's at this time, it's definitely going to be the enzymes. Enzymes, there's a broad line of enzymes that they have multiple functionalities. Some of them are going to give you strength like datum. Some of them are going to give you shelf life, softness as the MDG. So some of them are going to give you volume. So the thing is just identify the correct enzyme for the application you want to use. In the case of datum, again, that's going to give you strength. MDG is most likely is going to give you softness. So that's going to be like two different enzymes or a product that contains both of those enzymes that will give you that functionality. And that way, with one product, you can substitute both. But it's going to be definitely clean label enzymes. Yeah.
That's correct. And sometimes you just have to give it a try, play with a couple of the solutions coming from Lesaffre, and bring it on the production floor and run it at the rates that you want to run the dough throughput and see for yourself.
Not really. I mean, our testing reports sometimes that even the clean label are performing a little bit better nowadays than the regular label. I guess one of the biggest difference sometimes it might be when products are using a lot of calcium propionate. You can really feel that in the product, and by going to a clean label, you eliminate that aftertaste in bread. That's one of the benefits of clean label. But other than that, I mean, functionality wise, they're up there to standard or better, and you won't see a difference in the final product.
I agree with that. And I was just going to mention CalPro too. Well, you got to it first. Clean label to me should be in every baker's pocketbook, right? Let me just take a few steps back. In the 80s, 90s, we used potassium bromate, right? And then we moved out of ADA. And now we're moving out of datum, SSL, and CSL, not because these are dirty chemicals, but because there are alternatives to it. So if there is a cleaner, more enzymatic based alternative to a ingredient that is sounding scary, I know the science behind these ingredients. They are totally safe for consumption. But not everybody agrees with the science behind these ingredients, right? So if there is a more natural and more transparent way of replacing these ingredients, let's do it. Let's go for it. That's what you should be using for the future of the next generations. As you can see from Miguel's presentation, you know, the millennials and the Gen Zs and the Gen Xers, they're not going to fall for, you know, datum and SSL on their bread labels anymore. You know, I mean, I think in 10 years, those ingredients will work its way out of the market, just like potassium bromate did. So, you know, let's just look towards a clean label alternative, not because these are dirty chemicals, but because there are alternatives in the market for you to use.
Yeah, I agree. You know, it's what the presentation said as well. There's not a straight definition for a clean label. It's pretty much has to do with perception, consumer perception. And we've seen what media and social media does now. So sometimes it's a lot of just bad social media that an ingredient has, and that creates a big change in the market, because people won't buy something because they're seeing it's bad for them without even knowing if it is or not. Sure, I mean, there's lab equipment that is, you know, they
texture analyzer.
I don't know, yeah. That they test the pressure in the bread and the resilience and softness on it. And so yeah, it does. We do all those tests in our labs to be able to compare and be able to share that information with our customers and make sure that, you know, it's not just your touch, but something the real number in the real test in the lab.
And it's not just the instrumentation, it is the program that you use to analyze your bread test. So there are, for every texture analyzer out there, their programs provide the ability to look at the resilience, the cohesiveness, the firmness, the springiness of the bread. So check out those parameters and just test it out and see which one will work for you. For most bagels, a lot of the bagel makers use non-diastatic malt to give the outer layer of the bagel a nice, smooth, brown, aromatic look to it. This is the reason. Malt syrup is the reason why bagels are shiny and very aromatic on the outside. Okay, so definitely look for non-diastatic malt to do that. And if you don't have that, I don't suggest you can using baking soda, because yes, I understand baking soda does brown the product, but you're also going to make a different product, like a pretzel product altogether. So for the traditional bagel, please use non-diastatic and reach out to our sponsors, malt products, for a non-diastatic malt to use in this situation.
Yep, that's well or better.
Great.
I believe so. I've seen replacements that does really, really well.
And nowadays, I will even say they're probably even cheaper now than.
Yeah, correct. I think a lot of mono and diglycerides are used in these products, isn't it, Miguel?
Yeah, well, again, it depends what you're looking for. You know, you got, for example, you can use deactivated yeast, Relax 100, deactivated yeast to substitute the L-cysteine, and that's going to help you with the sheeting in the croissant, make your dough easier to sheet and easier to fold, and reduce the shrinkage. If you're looking for a higher volume croissant, and softer as well, monodiclyserides are, you can add monodiclyserides replacer, and it's going to help you having a soft croissant for longer days without the monodiclyserides.
Correct. What is your replacer called for replacement of mono and diglycerides in like a sweet Danish dough?
It's called MDG replacer.
Okay.
It's easy to remember.
Right.
Yeah, and that's depending on the product, that could give you 3 to 8 days shelf life. That's our shortest term shelf life replacer. Depending on the product, how much fat it has and all that kind of stuff, that's a different amount of days you're going to get in shelf life.
Right. I have actually a follow-up question on that one. I have recently been asked to reformulate a customer's blend for a pizza kind of flour.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to replace datum.
Mm-hmm.
What is your product? Because they had ascorbic acid and datum in their blend, and they were looking for an alternative.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of product do you have at hand?
Well, for datum replacer, we got about 3 or 4 of them. Our most common one is called STR601.
Okay.
We got as well a volume 6.1, I think. And we got a new product out there that replaces datum, replaces L-cysteine, which is also used in pizza, and it also has some monodiclyserides there to make it softer. So now you got to remember as well, pizza and flatbreads, they're a different animal, to say in a certain way, so sometimes for pizzas and tortillas, you need specialized enzymes that will tolerate those high temperatures. Not all of the enzymes will survive through those high rising temperatures. For pizzas, some in certain applications, you need specialized enzymes for those products. But
thank you. Ethoxylated monoglycerides.
Well, monodiclyserides, that's going to be the MDG. We have some applications that are going to help you to the frozen. Dough conditioners are going to help you to the freezing process, giving you strength, like our frozen 3.1. But for monodiclyserides, I'm guessing that's going to start giving you softness afterwards. So that's going to be the MDG replacer. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it's going to be the same clean enzymes, clean label. I mean, straight or no time dough or overnight doesn't really affect the functionality of the enzymes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty easy solution, is just to get the datum and MDG replacer from Lesaffre and just try it out. Right. So we have reached the end of our question queue. So thank you everyone for coming on. Thank you, Miguel, for your presentation and your expertise on this topic. And this recording is going to be available for everyone on the Academy next week. And if you are interested in a 30-minute free consult on upscaling your process, please send an email to what's in the chat. And we will see you all soon. Thank you.
So just wanted to, in case you guys are interested in any products, just reach out to us. We will be happy to send samples or have our tech team discuss with you, or even give you guys a visit. I mean, that's what we're here for.
Yes, and we did include all that information on the chat. If you take a look at the chat, all the links are there. Just click, 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 and get it on the bookmark. All right,
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you.